Hi everyone. A question about thoughts and feelings and what's the point? Hi Claire. I understand what you say, and when you speak, it feels so freeing, but I have questions. I've previously understood that thought creates our feelings, actions, and experiences. I think we need to be careful with that. If everything is a creation of thought or a perceived self-identity, in order to have a positive experience, I believe I need to have positive thought. Yeah, that's where we get into real trouble. If our attempt to create positive thought comes from a separation of self and the thoughts are not ours, what role do positive affirmations and manifestation play? Are they futile? When I feel in a place of love and I can generate a feeling of love, I feel good, the world feels good, and my experience feels good. Should I be falsely generating feelings of love, even if I go into my own heart to do it? Sometimes I go into my heart and talk to my heart and feel my heart. This feels like I'm connecting with the real me. What is this? In my questioning, what's the point? Over the years, if we are just existing on earth to eat, drink, sleep, and work, what's the point? I'm sent back to something my aunt told me when I was a child. It meant nothing to me until recently. She said, life is about love. It's all she said, or all I remember. I interpret that now as love for another, love for self, love for nature, and seeing love, beauty, and good in all and everything. Is that what it's about? So huge questions there, isn't it? Huge questions about love, about what's the point of life, what's going on in our experience, how do we, what's the relationship between thought and feelings and truth. So let's start with what's the point. I have come through this work to the suggestion, I guess, that the whole entire point of each of our lives is the realization of truth, the realization of what we really are. And what we really are is love. So it's why, well, basically, the realization, what is hiding the truth of what we are, is a is a powerful mind brain system that is lost in belief. It has acquired a conditioning, and largely a conditioning of separation and lack and limitation, worthlessness, unlovability, inadequacy, not enoughness. And that conditioned belief system of what we are is hiding the fact that what we are is life, is intelligence, is consciousness, and that is unconditional love. So that mind, that identified separate mind, knows this really, it's its origin. So it's trying to find its way back to love. And it's doing it, like this listener says, through loving, trying to love other people, loving nature, trying to love everything. But it can't really do that, because that separate identity is made of need. It's made of need and shame and insecurity and fear. So from that space, trying to find its way to unconditional love is impossible, because it's a whole pile of conditions. You know, if I think that my route to salvation, my route to truth is through loving you, and yet everything in my relationship with you is really the manifestation of all my insecurity, my need, my fear, my shame, and every conversation interaction is sort of making that come up to the surface. The conditions on the relationship are enormous. Don't Don't trigger me. Don't make me feel lonely. Don't make me feel rejected. Keep me safe. Make sure that I feel loved at all cost. Those are the conditions. That's not love. That's certainly not unconditional love. It's fear. It's fear playing out in a relationship. And so that's the point. That's the point of all of our lives, is the healing of that, the wound of separation, really, isn't it? In order that dissolves away through healing, because it can't be believed anymore, it can't be lived anymore, and it reveals what we really are. It reveals what's true. And so when it comes to thoughts and thought management, the relationship between thought and feelings, I think it's a highly confused premise, this line, my feelings are created by thought. Because it from the identified separate mind, that sets up, just as the listener says, therefore I need to control my thoughts in order to have good feelings. And what is that I that could control the thoughts? That I is a thought. And so what it creates is this constant seeking, this confusion within the mental or the psyche of how to control this sort of ethereal experience, this that isn't even tangible, by something that doesn't even exist. So it's a confusing premise, and it seems to me that the more it's recognized that all experience is a creation of whatever is going on within the system in that moment, and it might be hormones, it might be hunger, it might be temperature, it might be tiredness, illness, being triggered, it might be anything, medicines, drugs, anything, all infinite possibilities that are influencing and dictating how an experience occurs. And there is no one doing that. There is no chooser of thoughts that can change that. And the recognition of that brings everything back into sanity, into truth. And then when there's the recognition, there's no controller of experience, then this world of form, of the body, of the mind, is really a playground to experiment with experience in, with nothing at stake. It's a very interesting premise that really the clearer it is that there's no identity, there's no separate me that can be protected by controlling, by managing emotions and feelings, then there's a real freedom of engagement, freedom of intimacy and exploration. That's just cool. And then from there, why not play around with affirmations and manifestations? It's just fun to do that, if that's the case. There's nothing at stake. It's just explorative. So yeah, so let's spend all our attention on getting sane, which is really moving into the areas that challenge the identity, that disrupt, that trigger. Move into those, and to see what's actually true, to let what's not true fall away, and then we can do whatever. Yeah, lots of love. Bye.